welcome to the next part of Mrs. Splatt's Hall of Horrors. We left off with Chewy arguing with Mrs. Splatt about whether bubblegum is food. Let's find out if Mrs. Splatt gets her revenge on the vermin. I wonder what will happen. Once in her kitchen, the dinner lady began hatching an evil plan. Today, she announced to her army of dinner ladies, we will create the most repulsive, incredible, deadly dinner of all time. I thought we did that every day, piped up one with the glasses. We do, thank you, but today I want to teach that vermin a lesson she will never forget. Chewy, exclaimed the one with the crooked nose. Yes, you guessed it. I want the food we serve up today to send the nasty little child running for the hills. A cheer went up in the kitchen. Hurrah! Immediately the dinner ladies set to work. By noon, Splatt and her gang had created the most repulsive school dinner menu of all time. Dring! The bell rang for lunchtime. Splatt whipped off her wig, gave the counter a quick mop, plonked the wig back on and took her place behind the trays of food, if they could be called that. Her iron ladle was in her iron fist, her one good ear listening out for Chewy, and her one good eye looking out for her. As soon as Chewy pushed the double doors open to the dining room, clunk. The girl was shocked by the smell. Pong! The food always stank, but today the stink was enough to knock you out. Pong! All the pupils and teachers of Slop School were choking and coughing, their eyes streaming. Water! Water! Call an ambulance! Pinching her nose with her fingers, Chewy nervously approached the food counter. Bubbling away was something that looked like a stew, even though it smelled like a campsite toilet. If you have never been camping, then you'll have to use your imagination, but trust me, it was pongtastic. And that's a real word you will find in your Williams dictionary. We meet again, child, purred Splatt. Good afternoon, Mrs. Split, chirped the girl. Splat! That's what I said, Splut. What kind of stew is this? Stew, thundered Splatt, her false teeth shooting across the Hall of Horrors. Whiz! They landed in some poor child's stinging nettle soup. Doink! Splat! Yuck! Fortunately, one of the dinner ladies, the one with the hairy chin, retrieved them for her glorious leader. I mean, what kind of meat is it? Asked the girl. Roadkill, replied Splatt, after replacing her false teeth. It looked like a squirrel. It could be a fox. Or a big ginger rat. Hard to be sure. The lorry had squashed it flat. Splut. Absolutely revolting, was the girl's verdict. Thank you kindly, child, replied the dinner lady. That was high praise indeed. I am not eating that. No matter, purred the dinner lady, guiding the girl along the counter to something even more disgusting. I also have this pie, straight from the oven. The girl peered down at it. What kind of pie is it? She asked. Pie, once again, her false teeth made a dash for freedom. Whiz! They landed in their teacher's beetle blancmange. Splut! Ugh! This time the dinner lady with the eye patch retrieved Splat's teeth for her. Have a slice, ordered Splatt. It's a surprise. My special pie surprise. Just then Chewy spotted that underneath the pastry top something had moved. It was alive. What was that? She demanded, seriously spooked. What was what, child? Replied the dinner lady, mock innocently. Something moved under the pastry. Just then a claw appeared from underneath. Splatt whacked it with her ladle. Thwunk. Grrr. Whatever was underneath the pastry top growled. I do pride myself on using only the freshest ingredients, announced Splatt. There's fresh and they're still alive. I am never eating that. The dinner lady was growing tired of all this talking. She wanted the girl to eat something, and fast. Well, there is still one more choice, child, she said, moving the girl further down the food counter, and I have saved the best until last. Dumplings! These dumplings were brown and steaming, and looked as if an animal had laid them that morning. They are not dumplings, exclaimed the girl. Oh yes, they are, child. I saw these dumplings being dumped with my own eye, hence the name. Splatt chuckled to herself. Behind her, the gang of dinner ladies chuckled too. The girl was adamant. I am never, ever, ever, ever eating that. Oh yes, you are, child. That was your final choice, so dumplings it is. Splatt went to ladle one of these brown steaming nightmares onto the girl's plate. No, shouted Chewie. It was so loud that the Hall of Horrors descended into silence. No one ever dared to say no to Mrs. Splatt. All eyes turned to the dinner lady, who laughed her best evil laugh. Ha ha ha. She laughed so hard her false teeth shot out again and landed in the stew. Splot! It splashed the girl from head to toe. Yuck! Exclaimed Chewie. Then she suddenly found herself feeling hotter than hot. Ow! It's burning my skin. Well, I do like my stews to be spicy, said the dinner lady. She reached her iron fist into the pot, sizzle, and pulled out her false teeth, before pushing them back into her mouth. I am not eating any of this muck, shouted the girl. You have to eat something, child, replied the dinner lady. Well, I will not. Chewie was defiant. Not even a pea, suggested the dinner lady, mock innocently. A pea? Yes, an incy-wincy little pea. That couldn't do you any harm now, could it, child? The girl was feeling uneasy. It sounded like a trap. Just a pea, asked Chewie. Just a pea. No sauce on it? No sauce. Not spiced in any way? No spice. Not stuffed with anything? No stuffing. Then all right, announced Chewie. For my lunch today I will have 1 pea. The dinner lady sported a ghoulish grin. 1 pea coming right up, child. Chewie looked around the troughs of food. There were mountains of the vegetables kids always hated. Brussels sprouts, beetroot, rhubarb, cabbage, broccoli, but no sign whatsoever of peas. Not one. Where exactly is this pea? Demanded the girl. I'm just keeping it warm, child, replied Splatt. Then the dinner lady began making the most awful noises with her nose. Snort, snort, snort. What on earth are you doing? Asked the girl. Just retrieving your pea. Snort, snort, snort. With one final snort, a green pellet flew out of her nose and landed on the girl's plate with a ding. The girl stared down at it. That's not a pea, she said, not unreasonably. What is it then, child? Purred Splatt. A bogey. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, said Splatt. No, it's not, replied Chewie. Ha ha. The dinner lady had tricked her. It's snot, shouted Chewie in frustration. Shut up and eat your greens. Greens are good for you. Not that kind of green. Eat it. I won't. Oh, yes, you will. Oh, yes, you will. With that, Splatt grabbed the girl by the shoulders and sat her down on the bench. Eat, vermin, eat, she ordered. No! The dinner lady smashed her iron fist down on the dinner table. Thud! Throwing all the plates up into the air. Tring, clatter, clutter, clotter. The children sitting at the table were covered in stew and pie and dumplings. Ugh, they cried. It was disgusting being coated in this stuff, although it was preferable to eating it. Eat it, or I promise there will be hell to pay, shouted Splatt. Once again her false teeth went flying. Whiz! Hitting a boy on the head. Doink! He landed face down in his stew. Splut! I said no, shouted the girl. Watch the next video to find out how this story ends.